Hi, welcome back to my channel. I thought it would be so much fun this week to take you guys along for a romance reading week in my life. It is Valentine's Day weekend. Valentine's Day is actually on a Saturday this year, which is so much fun. We don't typically do anything for Valentine's Day, me and my fiance, but we will usually just like make dinner, have a cute little night together. But this weekend we are deciding to go spend the night at the mountain because we love to go snowboarding. And so we're gonna be spending a Colorado mountain weekend for Valentine's Day. However, I am planning on reading a couple of romances within this next week, so I thought it would be fun to document that as well. First read that I am reading right now is like one of the most exciting things ever. I'm just like speechless about it every single time that I ever receive a book from anyone anywhere for free. So thank you so much, Berkeley, for sending me a free copy of And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. If you guys do not know, I love B.K. Borison. She wrote the Love Light Farm series, and then this is within the Interconnected series with the book First Time Caller, who I also got for free last year from Berkeley. So again, thank you so much, Berkeley. And then Berkeley sent me this a couple of weeks ago. This is the advanced reader copy for this book. It comes out in a couple of weeks, I believe February 24th or something like that. So I'm getting the chance to read it early, and I am already enjoying it so much so far. I'm only about 40 pages in. Chapter 4, 40 pages in. I'm just so excited. I just want to document the moment. I have a few other romances that are on my mind for this upcoming week, but again, I just thought it would be fun to document this and have a little. February is just a love month. I love to read romances all throughout the month of February. It just feels like the right time, and I think the vibes of this book is also just like, look at this cover. It's gorgeous. So And Now Back to You, like I said, is in the Interconnected series from First Time Caller, and we're following weather reporters. So in First Time Caller, you are following Aiden and Lucy, and Aiden is the host of Baltimore's romance hotline, which is called Heartstrings, and he has a caller call in one day. It is Lucy's daughter, and then their paths intertwine. He ends up meeting up with Lucy. Lucy helps him on the romance hotline just to get more viewers coming through. It's been kind of going through like the dips of ratings, and so they build their romance there. That is their story. And Now Back to You, we are following Jackson as well as Delilah, and they are both weather reporters but for different stations. Delilah's in the news station across the street, and Jackson is in Aiden's Baltimore's radio show. Yeah, he's more so like a radio booth, and she's more of like a newscaster, and she's on the scene of a lot of different news reportings, but they're both meteorologists, and they're assigned now, this is like literally the part that I've gotten up to within the first 40 pages, they're now assigned to work a case together because one of the biggest storms is coming to the Appalachians and like Baltimore region, and so they're assigned to be doing this together. However, they've had a few run-ins with each other that have not been like the most positive experiences, and so they both have various outlooks on like their situation going into this together. So it's been super sweet so far. I'm very much enjoying it. If you end up picking up this book and you've read the Love Light Farm series, and you've also read, what was her ghost novel? You know, the one that's like a Christmas one? I'll put a picture of it up here. If you've read that, page 17, take a look, because like, already caught on to it. But yeah, and then also another fun note about these books is that they're each based off of a different rom-com from the 90s. So this one I believe is like a This is like a When Harry Met Sally inspired book. I wouldn't say it's like full-blown, you know, like plot, but it's definitely inspired by When Harry Met Sally, and First Time Caller is inspired by Sleepless in Seattle. And then she has already revealed that a third book in this Interconnected series will also be released, and I believe on her Instagram she has like maybe what the title is, I think, or at least what the inspiration is from the 90s rom-com. I haven't like totally dove into that yet, but very exciting. Love the art of it, and I think this is the like most perfect book to be reading during this Valentine's Day love atmosphere that we're in right now. We need a lot more joy in this world, so this is like my joy. I've taken my time. It's taken me 2 days to get to page 40, guys. That's kind of insanity for me, but I've just been really busy and really tired, and I'm trying to get into the audiobook as well of The House in the Cerulean Sea, but I don't know, I went through a big audiobook kick in January, which was great. I've just been so mentally drained that every time I'm like driving or like just hanging out, I just want to like listen to music or like a mindless podcast. So I'm really trying to get into it. It's decent so far. I'm only on like chapter 2, so I don't really have much to say about it. but that's what I'm trying to do. I do have a few other romances on my TBR card. I would really love to read Wild Reverence next. It is a thicker book, so I don't know if that's the one we'll get to immediately after And Now Back to You. But I also have Sparks Fly, which is another book that I got from Berkeley Romance, and that is something that I've been very interested in picking up for some time now, so that might have more potential to be the next book that we read in this video. So I'm very excited. I hope you guys stick along for the journey here. This video is also fun because, again, adding on to my series that I created a couple of videos ago, I have so many romances on my physical TBR, and I think this will be a really great way for me to also start dwindling more down on those as well. So hopefully we get 2 books completed in this video, and that'll be 2 additional books taken down off of my TBR. I believe once I finish, I think I'm 23 books now in. I believe I started the series at around 26 books, and then I've completed 3 since then. So this will be my 23rd book. Hopefully we can get it down to 22, 21, you know what I mean? So this is very exciting. We are making progress. I haven't purchased any books. I haven't received any books since then, so we're working on it. Got home and I got my nails done, and I did a Valentine's Day themed, if you guys can see. Hold on. How do I show it? It's little like lipstick marks and then bedazzles on each finger. And they're super cute. And when I was there, I got a little gift from, it's like the largest plane ever going over right now. And at the end of my appointment, my nail tech gave me a little Valentine's Day goodie, so I thought I'd unbox it. I got little chocolates that say "You're very cool." This is actually really cute. Antibacterial hand wipes, but it like has a keychain on it, so you can put it on your baggie. Got hand sanitizer spray, lemon, little bubbles with a heart on top. I got, I think this is chapstick, yeah, Vaseline, and then a little heart candy bracelet moment, which is also very cute, very 2000s. And then this is something, I think this is a reusable bag, but this was one that I was more interested in opening, right? Yeah. It's a reusable bag. With like deer and birds and flowers on it. Very cute, of course. My fiance got me flowers, a card, and my favorite goldfish. Yay! I have had quite literally the longest day of my life. I left my apartment at like 6:45 for work, and I just got home and it's 7 o'clock because my nail appointment ran a little bit later. It also started later at around 5, but they're so freaking cute. I don't know if you guys could see them in the lighting out there, but I'm so happy with them. My nail tech literally kills it every single time. I always get compliments on my nails, so that's very exciting. I also got through chapter 3 of A House in the Cerulean Sea, and I'm liking it. It's very adorable. It's something that I'll definitely just start picking up more when I'm driving around in the car, but tonight I'm gonna dive a little bit more into And Now Back to You. I'm only maybe 4 or 5 chapters into it. I don't think I've gotten super far. This week has been very chaotic for me and really busy, and so I haven't, I'm like 80 pages into it. Oh, chapter 7, so actually I've gotten a little bit more of the ways into it, but like I was saying, this week has been really like busy, chaotic for me, so I've been really tired at the end of the day, not really motivated to read. I'm gonna try to get a little bit more of the ways into it tonight. Hopefully a good chunk of it will be read tomorrow because I have a lighter work day tomorrow and then I don't have anything after work. I'll probably just like go to the gym and then pack for this weekend when we go to the mountain for our little like Valentine's Day getaway. But other than that, I just have tomorrow to read after work, which is very exciting. I'll keep you guys posted on what I get read tonight. I just got to chapter 11. I've been reading for a little bit now, and I will say, I don't think I can say much about this book because I believe this video will be out still probably like a week before this book is released. However, very just like basic update. I am obsessed with all of BK Borison's writing. I think her writing is fantastic. She has absolutely nailed like the perfect rom-com flow of writing in every single one of her books. It's so witty, funny, addicting, adorable. I am just obsessed with her writing. It's very similar to how I feel about like Emily Henry and Abby Jimenez. There's just something about it where like I cannot put it down, and it's a page turner, every single one of them. And it's just the same with Now Back to You. Like there's just never a disappointment. I will always want to pick up her books and read them. And this is just another example of it. Something else with this like mini series with First Time Caller and Now Back to You is because it's set in like a radio station, news station like setting. She does this thing at the beginning, well, I guess you could say beginning / end, in between chapters, where it's just like a little like segment of like dialogue from either like the radio show or like news forecast. And it's always just like witty little things that she puts in there for like added humor and added context to like what they're talking about when they're on air. And I just think it's such a funny and cool way to kind of like drop that into the book without it taking up too much space, because it's like we don't need to listen to sometimes their entire conversations on air, but it also just like reminds us like, hey, this is like what the book is about. This is like their job. This is what they're doing in between the moments of them being together outside of that. Do you know what I mean? I just love it. I'm obsessed with it. And that is my update for right now. Like I said, I'm on chapter 11, page 126. So I started at like page 80. So I have made a lot more progress tonight already than I have the past few days. I'll probably just read another chapter. I'm getting a little tired. It's like 9 o'clock. So I'll probably just go ahead and read another chapter and then go to bed. And then my goal tomorrow is to just read, like I said earlier. But good news, good update. I'm loving this so far. I'm enjoying it so much. I'm so excited for everyone to read it and for it to just be out into the world. BK Borison, the woman that you are. This is just always amazing. Always. I'm gonna call it a night for reading. I got to a little over page 200 and Now Back to You. I definitely wanted to get further into it tonight. It's almost 10 o'clock though, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a really long week mentally, and so I'm very exhausted. I just spent probably like an hour and a half like doom scrolling when I was supposed to be reading, and I'm just like, it was because I started to feel anxious like while I was reading, which usually is not the case. Usually reading like eases my anxiety, but I've just been really anxious. So, and it has nothing to do with this book. I'm actually loving this, and where we just left off at I'm on chapter 18 now. I can't say anything, but like I was a little gagged, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm very much enjoying this. I'm gonna listen to The House in the Cerulean Sea. I'm in the middle of chapter 4. These chapters are very long, so it's taking me a minute to get through them. I listened to it a little bit today while I was driving, and this chapter's like over 35 minutes long, which in my opinion is pretty long for an audiobook. So I think that's why it's taking me a minute to get into it, because if there's like quick chapters, that goes with physical reading and audiobooks. If it's quick chapters, I tend to speed through it a little bit faster. If the chapters are really long and drag on, it's hard for me to stick with it, but I am enjoying it. So I think I'm going to listen to House in the Cerulean Sea, get ready for bed, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, good morning. Happy Valentine's Day. We are heading to the mountain. We got a late start this morning because the mountain we're going to is actually a little bit closer. We're also staying the night there, so we just didn't feel like we had to get there super early. We are getting gas right now though, and then we're going to go get a little sweet treat for the morning, some like Valentine's Day themed donuts, and then like a little themed coffee as well. It's like my favorite thing to do around the holidays is get a themed coffee. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. I'm gonna read. I brought And Now Back to You, and then I also brought my AirPods in case I wanted to listen to my audiobook a little bit, but I think I'm gonna really focus on getting more of And Now Back to You read, even though, I mean, we'll be snowboarding and stuff and we'll have a night in Netherlands. We're gonna go to dinner and everything, but hopefully tonight I can get more of that read as well, and then on the drive there. So yay, happy Valentine's Day. Alrighty, we got the coffee. We actually didn't get coffee from the donut shop. They had a strawberry tiramisu latte that looked really good, but they were going so incredibly slow this morning that we went next door to Huckleberry Roasters, which is just as good. And probably for the better because we got some crazy donuts and we probably don't need a strawberry tiramisu latte. I just got an iced vanilla latte. Yum! Actual insanity that the sun is shining bright as hell outside. It is 68 degrees and sunny. I have the window cracked open because it got a little humid in here. I did also just like take a shower, so like that's also another reason. It's February. It's February, and that's why we're reading romance. As you can tell, we're back in the city. A lot has happened. We did our whole mountain vacation, mountain getaway yesterday. I have gotten some of this reading done, but it's now like 3 o'clock on Sunday. I have to get some slides prepared for work tomorrow because I have early meetings on Mondays. So I like to do some of the slides on Sunday nights. Don't recommend, but for my own sanity, I do it. Before I do that though, I just have the rest of the day to read into this book and I am obsessed with it. I'm flying through it. I just read up to page 273. There's like 430-ish pages of it and I think I can finish it today. I'm not gonna hold myself to that, but I feel like if I just sit here and avoid my phone at all costs, I could get pretty damn far into this book. So that's the goal, is to just get as far as possible into this book today. And yeah, that's my only update, is that I'm obsessed. We're back in the city and it's hot and I'm upset about it. I did it. I finished And Now Back to You. I am too lazy to even sit up right now. I'm just tired. I finished this up probably a couple hours ago. It's like 9:30 now, but I wanted to give a little bit of an update now that I've had my thoughts to sit with for a little bit now. I am going to be rating this a 4.5 stars. This book is so warm and comforting and just an addicting book to read. I could not put it down today. When I said that like my goal was to finish it, my goal was to finish it. However, I just like sat here and once I started it, I literally couldn't put it down. Like I read over 100, almost like 150 pages, just like almost in one sitting. I just sat in this chair that I'm in right now and read the rest of the book, and I'm not mad about it at all. I thought this was such a wonderful read. If you've read anything by B.K. Borison, it is her voice. She just knows how to articulate a romance while adding in like mixes of humor with also serious topics that allow for like the characters to grow personally, professionally, whatever the topic is, but also to like deepen their storylines and make it matter a little bit more. But it's almost just like touches of that to the point where it's like not too overwhelming. It doesn't overtake the romance aspect. It's still like a lighthearted, fun, funny read. There's just a little bit of elements that are thrown in there, and I think it's like the perfect mix, because sometimes depending on the plot or the book, I want a little bit more of like the character's background and their story to add to the plot. But then sometimes you just want like a romance and you're just like, I'm just here for the romance. And she does such a wonderful job at that in every single book that I've read by her. And I just appreciate it so much. And she just again, is just such an amazing author. I love her so much. I'm going to read every single book by her. I believe I rated First Time Caller a 5 stars. I'm rating this one a 4.5 stars. I think it wasn't a 5-star read for me because honestly, this isn't like a spoiler by any means, but I will say it was a little insta-lovey for me, and I just don't, it just never leaves my mind. Like once I start feeling that way, it's hard for me to look past it, and I know that it's just like, again, a lighthearted romance, so it's kind of like whatever, but I did kind of keep thinking while I was reading it, like, girl, didn't you meet him like 3 days ago? Like, I don't know. If you guys read it, you'll understand. You'll know. But it wasn't something that I like harped on too much. I mean, it was like whatever. But there were just moments where they were like talking to each other. And I was like, it's a little early for for this, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe not. But I just felt like it was a little bit of an insta-love situation. But it was still so sweet, so adorable. I loved both of the characters, Jackson and Delilah. They just like are perfect together, and I'm so happy that we got their story next. I don't know, I'm just obsessed with it. It is so good. But I highly recommend, like I said, it was just a very like warm and comforting read. I feel like I've avoided the romance genre for a little bit now. Like here and there I'll pick up romances, but it's very specific on what the romance is and who it's by, because I think nowadays we get so many just like, it just feels like what would you call it? Like ChatGPT, just like blobs of like, just, I don't know, just shit releases of just romances that have the same tropes and plots, and they don't, nothing matters or means anything. I pretty much just read the same romance authors now because I can rely on them to write a decent romance. So it's hard for me, and I think that's what will be good about this video, is like stepping out of my comfort zone a little bit, reading a little bit more romance, but this definitely was a very good start to it. I actually can't remember the last romance I read. It probably wasn't that long ago. I don't think it was that long ago, but it's hard to come by a solid romance these days, and BK Borison never lets me down. She always does a fantastic job. So 4.5 stars here. Highly recommended again. This is released February. Is it this week or next week? I'll put it on the screen here, but it's being released this month. And I love it. I love this series. I'm so excited for the 3rd book in the series to come out. Again, the covers are just so cute. I cannot say enough good things about it. I keep thinking about it now, and it makes me want to go back and reread First Time Caller. And then hopefully this book, like, it is just a book where I'm like, I know I can reread it and have a good time. It's also set like in the winter time because they're in the middle of a storm and they're meteorologists, and so they're talking about the weather a lot. And it's not cold in Denver, but it puts me in that mood because it's technically winter. So I love it. It's a good mood read. Alrighty. So that brings me to my next read. Like I said, about kind of branching myself out and reading a little more romance and just having fun with it. It is the month of love. I am going to be picking up Sparks Fly. This book is by Zakiya Jamal, and I got this from Berkeley Romance, so thank you, Berkeley, for the free copy. I did start this at the end of January. I've really only read like 2 chapters. Yeah. Chapter 3, page 10, and I just wasn't feeling super in the mood for a romance at that moment, and I wanted to give this book a good like chance or opportunity, you know, to like have a high rating. I just wanted to give it my full attention and full commitment to it, because I just don't think it's fair to rate a book if I'm just like mentally not feeling in the mood for that genre, and now I am feeling in the mood for it. So I'm gonna keep reading this now. I don't know if I'll start reading it again tonight because, like I said, I just sat and binged like 150 pages of this book, and so I'm a little tired, but I'm very excited. This one, however, is a little bit different. This one is a little more sensual. This one has a lot more spice in it. That is how this couple meets. She is a virgin and he is not, and they meet at an SCX club. Very interesting plot. She wants to lose her virginity. She's like, hey, I believe she's like 30. What is it? I don't know, but she wants to go to the club, to lose her virginity, because she's like, I think it's time that I lose my virginity and I need to just like do it. But I think it is a more spicier novel, which will also be interesting for me because on the same topic of like stepping away from the romance genre a little bit, I am very particular about spice in books. Like, I don't hate it and I don't disagree with it by any means. It's just like not always my favorite thing to read or like my forte. It's not something that I'm like itching or really necessarily need in a romance or just a book in general. and I think it can just become so cringy so fast. And so we'll see. We'll see how this fares for me, but I am excited to give this an opportunity, give this a try. I also think the cover's super cute. I love like the pink and the yellow on it. So this will be my next read. I think it'll be a fairly quick read too. It's like it's like less than 300 pages. So I'm very excited there. I'll keep you guys posted on how the progress here goes. Okay, this is such a super fast read. It's only the next day and I'm already on page 110, and so definitely a quick, easy romance. And I will say, first impressions is that I am enjoying it way more than I thought I was going to. Initially, the intro to this book is very like fast paced and it gets real hot and heavy real fast. Like it is spicy right off the back, and so I thought, ooh, this might be a little more spice that I'm kind of interested in at the moment or just ever. But I will say it does tame down a little bit. There's definitely talks of spice and talks of, you know, sexual things, but I feel like the couple that we're focusing on really does take the time to get to know each other right after that initial like interaction. So it's been very enjoyable. I think the writing's very cute, very adorable. I'm very much enjoying both of our characters, Max and Stella. I think they both have really interesting backgrounds and cool personalities, and they're seemingly meshing well together. So far so good. Again, it's a short book. I'm only 100 pages in though, so I feel like there's a lot more to dive into. The only thing that I am kind of side-eyeing and not super loving is that the big part of our plot right now is that they meet at a sex club right off of the bat because Stella's interested in losing her virginity. So she's like, you know what? I am almost 30. I need to just do this for myself. And so she decides to go to a sex club. She meets up with this guy named Max. They just like run into each other. They kind of hook up, and then the night just kind of ends from there, and they don't exchange numbers or anything. And like, I think it's like the next day at work, they run into each other because Max's little brother owns the company that Stella works for, and Max is merging his business, his company, with his little brother Miles's company. And where it gets a little tricky for me is that Max's company is an AI like company. Like he pretty much generates AI content. And for Miles's company, which is kind of, it's like a BuzzFeed, if you will, the company that Stella works for, Max's AI company is gonna like help them generate AI content to help them write and create their own work. And it kind of, I don't know, we're still early on into the book, so the opinions, the whole thing could change in the end. I have no idea yet, obviously, but it almost feels like it's being defensive of AI, and I'm not a fan of AI, if you do not know me. I don't like AI. I think AI is stupid. So that's the very interesting development in this story, is that it feels like we're defending the use of AI a little too much. And I don't know how to feel about that right now. So that's my only quip. As it goes with the couple and their relationship, I think it's very cute so far, and I'm liking where it's going. I'm hoping we get to know them a little bit more, dive into their personal lives a little bit more, see how we can kind of start building a relationship there that's not just solely based on their attraction, because again, there's attraction, there's like sexual conversations and stuff like that, but it does seem like we're veering into the direction more of them just getting to know each other and hanging out, actually dating and finding interests in one another that's not just their looks, which is what I feared going into this. I feared once I read the first few chapters, like, oh no, this is really like just spicy. We left that. We left that bus, and that's okay if you like that. I just personally need more from each of the characters in terms of like their just personalities and their lives and just like the plot in general. Like I just need more to a plot, and that it's giving me more so far. So I'll keep you guys posted, but those are my thoughts thus far into Sparks Fly. page 200, so a little over halfway through Sparks Fly. And little update, I'll start with the things that I'm not enjoying and then the things that I am enjoying about the book. Things that I'm not particularly enjoying in this book right now is the continual conversation of AI. We really haven't veered away from the topic. There are characters in the book that are not fans of AI and they're making it apparent, but they're still using it. So I don't know. I don't really know what, like, what direction it's going to take in the book, but I'm still just like on the conversation just in general around AI. I'm just like over it. So that's frustrating. I also think there's a lack of communication between the two main characters, and it's not like a miscommunication trope, it's just more of like a lack of communication, and it's kind of stressing me out, and I feel like it's going to explode in their faces. There's like a few things that they like will not talk about and have not addressed, and at this point in the book they're technically not even in like a relationship, they're just still seeing each other. But I feel like it's just things that in real life you would probably bring up or probably talk about at this point. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but those are the two things that are kind of frustrating to me right now. What I am enjoying is that, like I said earlier, there is definitely spice in this book. It is a spicier romance. However, with the lust, you're also getting a lot of just them together and cute and fun flirty moments with them just getting to know each other, them hanging out, and I actually do feel like there is chemistry between the two characters outside of them and their sexual relationship, if that makes sense. So I think that's a really good thing to have in a romance, especially when it is kind of based around like spicy scenes, and that's kind of how they meet, is like through something more lustful. Is that I am enjoying that their characters are getting to know each other and the dialogue is good. It's like solid dialogue. They're actually talking to each other about things like other than their looks and hooking up with each other. So I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying the pacing of the book, and despite like the AI conversation out of it, leaving that out of it, it is more of like a modern like romance. There are a lot of modern references in the book, and typically I stray away from books like that. I don't like when books are referencing things that are super relevant to real life, if you know what I mean, like TikTok and stuff like that. Like I'm just like, but I think this is doing it like a healthy amount and a normal amount, and it feels very relevant and also authentic. Like it feels like it belongs in the book and it just makes sense. So I am enjoying that. Again, AI conversation out of it, that can just like stay somewhere else because I'm just not interested in AI whatsoever. But a little bit of a conflicting feelings though with this book, with my likes and dislikes. So we'll see how it ends. I have about 100 pages left. I should probably be finishing this book up tomorrow, which would be crazy because once I finish this book up, then I will have 22 books left on my physical TBR shelf, which is crazy. I'm also just like, I'm flying through this. Like I said, it's a really easy read. It is fun. Like it's definitely something that I'm like interested in picking up. I'm never like making myself read it. Obviously this is day 2 and I'm already almost done with the book, so I am enjoying it. I just think that the parts that I'm not enjoying are definitely like kind of big, you know? So I think the ending will definitely sway me one side or another though. Like however the author wraps up this AI conversation will influence my overall rating, I think, a lot. I'll keep you guys posted. Obviously no spoilers, but you'll probably get the gist depending on what I end up reading this book at the end, so. I am not gonna lie, I am so freaking tired. Started work at like 7 and then I did not stop. I didn't get home until almost 6 o'clock, and then I had Pilates at 6:45, so I was just go, go, go. Haven't had time to read this book, and for some reason, I don't know, I knew that I had a long day today and Pilates tonight, so I don't know why I assumed I would finish Sparks Fly tonight, but I will for sure finish it tomorrow. I'm gonna try to read as much as I can tonight. Tomorrow after work, I don't have anything, so it's for sure going to be completed by tomorrow, and I'm excited to read it. I thought about it a couple of times today, but it's definitely just still sitting kind of like in the mid-range for me, I guess, where I'm really liking it, but I'm having conflicting emotions though about this book, because although when I'm reading it, like while I'm in the middle of reading it, I do enjoy the characters, and like today when I was working, I was thinking about this book and how I wanted to read it. But when I do kind of start reading it, I am getting to the point now where I'm almost ready for it to be over. Like last night when I was finishing up my reading session, I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of ready for this book to be over. That's a red flag to me just because it's not even that long of a book. And so I'm like, oh, usually when I really like a book, I don't want it to end, obviously. And this just isn't a long enough book for that to be the case. That's just the case for me with most romances, is that I just kind of get over it very quickly. They can become really repetitive, and it has nothing to really do with the writing or the story. It's progressing. I think I'm just now bored with the idea because I kind of feel like I know how it's going to end. And when it's like super predictable, I just kind of check out a little bit. So I really don't think I have that many pages left. I have less than 100 pages left. So it is going to hopefully be just the right amount that I need for this story to wrap up and like conclude for me. I don't know, does that make sense how I'm just like feeling conflicted about it? Like I thought about it today and I thought about the characters, which I feel like is a good sign that I'm enjoying it, because I feel like I am. But then I'm also just kind of like, okay, I'm ready to wrap this up, and it's only day 3. I don't know. Maybe I'm also just like tired and delirious, but that's how I feel. I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated and posted when I finish it. Oh my goodness, it's only, why is this so close? It's only been like an hour since I last updated you guys, but I actually just ended up finishing Sparks Fly, and I feel like I have so many thoughts that I'm going to try to put into words right now, obviously. And I don't know how to feel about this. I am kind of mentally sitting on a 3-star overall. Everything that I've mentioned before still stands true. I thought that the couple was pretty cute. I thought that their dialogue was good for the most part, but honestly, this last like chunk, the last like 70 pages that I just read, it kind of took a weird turn, and I feel like the writing got a little lazy, and I hate saying that because I believe this is a debut author, and so I just like feel so mean for saying that, but it kind of felt lazy. And not a spoiler, but there is a point where our main character, she works in like quizzes and editorials at her company, and so like I said earlier, she works in kind of like a BuzzFeed scenario where she writes quizzes and stuff. And at one point towards the end, she writes an article because her aspirations is to be a writer one day, and she's trying to prove it. And so for certain reasons, she ends up writing this article and posting it, and it's not good. I'm so sorry, but I was reading the article and I was like, this is the article that she chose to write about this situation. Like, oh my gosh, it just like it wasn't good. It felt kind of like juvenile. Like, I feel like the second half of the relationship also got a little, like I just didn't really like care for it. In terms of AI, I think the situation with the company was resolved in a satisfactory way, but then it was also like brought back in another way. And I just think that the ethics of AI are just something that is just so heavily present today, and I just didn't really enjoy it overall in the book. I think it was kind of like 50-50. Like I think there was a good resolve and a good ending in one aspect, and then when it was brought back around a different way, I was like, oh, why are we still bringing this up? Like, why is this still a thing? And I'm trying to discuss this without like spoiling anything, but I don't know. I'm conflicted because I liked parts of it, but I feel like it just wasn't super consistent. Not with the pacing, just with the overall, just me liking it. Like there were parts that I really liked and then parts that really fell flat for me. So I think a 3-star is kind of midline for me. I think that's a good overall rating. I will say it was a quick, fast, easy read for me. I don't typically gravitate towards much spice. I will say there is a good amount of spice, and in the ending, again, it's a little cringy. There are some cringy things that are said that I'm like, we could have maybe phrased that a different way or done something different, or maybe that didn't even have to be brought up at all. But maybe it's just not my type of like genre is like a spicy romance anymore. But I will say for it having as much spice as it did, I still enjoyed their romance and their relationship. I thought that it was cute. I thought that there were parts where we did dig a little bit deeper into the main male characters, past and where he is today, and we kind of dug a little bit into our female main character, but I will say that like the depth in this book just like was non-existent. Like for as much as I liked both the main male character, female main character, and their relationship, I thought it was cute. It was very, very surface level, and I think that's the overall theme for this book and the relationship, was that it was surface level. And then again, there were just some things that happened towards the end of the book with the brother that I was just kind of like, I feel like we never got anything leading up to that climax, like to that point. Like it just, everything just kind of happened very suddenly, and it felt like there was no build up to it, and we didn't really have any context as to why people were reacting the ways that they were. And so I think it just fell a little flat for me, but overall, again, I think I had a fun time reading it for like the quick little romance that it was. So that's where I'm settling at as a 3 stars. I actually can't believe that I finished this tonight. I truly thought that I wasn't going to be able to stay awake to do it, but that is Sparks Fly by Zakiya Jamal. Thank you so much, Berkeley, for sending me this free copy. I think that's where I'm going to end this week's video, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had so much fun taking you guys along for my Valentine's Day weekend and reading romances. I had so much fun filming this video. With that being said, for my physical TBR takedown, this video does contribute to that because now I am at 22 books on my physical TBR. I believe I started off at 27, so I am inching my way down bit by bit. I started off at like 26 or 27, and then somehow I ended up adding 3 books to my physical TBR like in that same week. So that set me back a little bit, but 22 books. I don't see any other books coming on my TBR anytime soon. So I am making progress and I'm so happy about it. So 22 books on the physical TBR, and I have some fun ideas that I'm going to be filming for these next couple of weeks that'll kind of contribute also to my physical TBR takedown. So hope you guys come back for that. And again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.